On suburban rooftops across the country, a patchwork of panels is taking sunshine and turning it into power. Along the Victorian coast at Port Arlington, Yvonne Parker has made the switch.
We have got 6.5 kilowatts of solar panels on the roof. We've got an inverter, got in the garage and battery next to it. So the battery, at the moment it's charged at 86% because we've got obviously this lovely sunny day. We've got a pool that is run with a heat pump. It just all works and it's not costing us a fortune because of the solar system that we have. We find it so utterly livable that we just love it. I think the total bill without subsidies was around $16,500 and we ended up paying $10,400.
With that price tag, it'll take Yvonne around 6 years to pay off the investment, but she's already noticing the difference.
It was just a bit under $80 per bill, which I think is pretty hard to match.
Australia has more rooftop solar per capita than anywhere in the world. More than 3 million homes have installed panels as households try and beat rising power prices.
We have solar.
Over at the Australian Energy Regulator, Chair Claire Savage keeps a close eye on the market, imposing price caps on power.
We have had 2 years now where we've seen very high fossil fuel prices, so coal and gas prices. We've also seen the availability of coal and gas reduced, and part of that's about the war in Ukraine. And we've also had quite significant outages at our coal-fired power stations. So that has led to very high wholesale prices for electricity in 2021 and again then extraordinarily high in 2022.
Politically, the stakes are high in this power game. Labor was elected on a promise to cut electricity bills, saying supercharging clean energy would deliver cheaper energy.
It will see electricity prices fall from the current level by $275 for households by 2025.
4 years as Prime Minister.
A pledge repeated even after the Ukraine war triggered a global energy crisis that sent coal and gas prices soaring.
It will save families $275 on average a year.
The competition watchdog has compared retail market offers across most of the country. It estimates the typical household was paying a bit over $1,300 a year when Labor's pledge was made. Since then, power prices have risen, sitting at nearly $2,000 a year. Sarah McNamara is from the Energy Council, which represents the companies that power Australia.
We are definitely in an elevated pricing environment at the moment. Really though, the wholesale market, although it's stabilised a little bit from the spikes we were seeing in 2022, we would still expect there to be broadly upward pressure on prices for the next few years.
Wholesale costs make up about 30% of your power bill. That's the price of producing electricity from coal, gas and renewables. But the biggest component of your bill is network costs, which covers the expense of the transmission network, so building and maintaining the poles and wires. And that's on its way up.
These grids are the largest, most technically complex and fragile pieces of infrastructure in this country, and we are renovating their entirety in order to deliver a lower emissions future for customers.
On the road to net zero, Australia's energy system is being transformed by technology like this. Wind, solar, batteries and hydro are being built on an industrial scale as coal-fired power stations close. Within 7 years, the government wants 82% of Australia's power to come from renewables, up from about 32% now. Chris Flynn is an energy law expert and has advised governments and corporate clients on huge projects such as Sun Cable and Marinus Link.
We are looking at nothing less than the biggest
challenge, the biggest peacetime challenge in terms of infrastructure in our history. We are looking to replace, in 20 to 30 years, an energy system which has taken us 160 years to build.
A projected price for the transformation can be found by digging into the Australian Energy Market Operator's own figures in its Clean Energy Roadmap. The total costs of phasing out coal and gas and replacing them with mainly renewables and storage between now and 2050 is estimated to be about $383 billion. Add to that another $20 billion for a vast new network of transmission lines to connect these new renewable projects to consumers.
Over time, it's true, we will all experience the benefits and of the efficient generation of electricity that renewables deliver. That's because they have almost zero fuel costs. But that benefit isn't experienced in the short term because of the capital costs of building these projects that needs to be paid for.
Until the promise of cleaner and cheaper energy is delivered, it's renters and low-income earners regulators are most worried about.
Energy Consumers Australia have actually done some research which suggests that there are about 56% of customers who are currently concerned that energy will be unaffordable for them within the next 3 years. So that's quite a significant statistic.
Yvonne Parker knows what it's like to feel powerless, making her even more grateful for the energy-efficient oasis she's created.
I grew up in a housing commission house that I reckon would reach about 50 degrees in the summertime. We'd sleep outside on the grass, you know, the prickly grass. Yeah. It was terrible when you think about it. There's still people living in those houses.